What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here, guitarjams.com. Really stoked to teach you a cool 12-bar blues. 12-bar blues in the key of G. And so the form, the basic form, I'm going to show you some cool groove ideas. But the basic form for this song would be G, C, G. And the C for twice as long. Back to G. Then D to C, G. So that groove right there fits as, you could call that G7, or like the land of G7. Anytime you have G7, you can play little bits of G, little bits of C, and even little bits of F in there, all over a G bass. But for this groove, I'm gonna show to you as a bar chord, and then there's also a thumb Hendrix technique that John Mayer used a lot, or uses a lot. So I'm going to take, though, this G bar chord, it's the 3rd fret, take my pinky off, and that's G7. Now, anytime you have a G7, especially in that blues rock thing, you can bar that 3rd and hammer on that piece of that G7. And then you can go to that C, you can even keep your bar the exact same. And that's great to practice. I mean, that's in a lot of bluesy kind of stuff. It's just the sound of the blues. So, but let's put together a part, like a rhythmic part. So we're going to hit the bass note first, then we're going to hammer on that G. And it might be a little tighter not to strum the whole guitar. Sorry, tongue-tied there. Strumming the whole guitar with that. You can play little pieces of it. Most notably the D and G string, or the G and the B string. But the whole chord works, so you got... So we're doing 2 down strums on that C major shape there. Then we're hammering back that G7. But as soon as we hammer it, we go back to that G note again. So from the top. So that's the opening groove. Now, if you have your thumb, you could get that G note in there and mute the A string. And then bar the D across, the D string, G, B, and high E. And then play the pieces like that. there's little, you know, you can kind of rake it across on some of those dun, and it's just by kind of putting a little weight into the pick and feeling it kind of rake off of the pick. And you can kind of relax this a little bit, and so it's kind of like when if you're running your finger across a rake. It's got that more crisp feeling to it. But when the actual verse comes in, da 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 da. So you don't, the first one's quick, you know, it goes. The second one's longer. Back to the main groove. Then D, C, starts over. Anytime you have this bar chord, got a lot of other lessons on this. You can play the inversion, which I also call the Hendrix major chord. So instead of that little cluster there, you use it with your index finger. Still the same chord. But instead of the root in the bass, we're playing this note in the bass, which is the third of the chord. And then I bar the A string too, because to make it real Hendrixy, you get a lot of hammer-ons there. And you can hammer on the D and the G string as well. And I'm just kind of strumming the middle strings there.